My wife and I have a bad and stupid habit of not locking the door behind us when we come home. In the morning at work, when you find that you slept all night with the door unlocked, the squabbles begin about who came in last and who is more to blame. One night the front door opened in the night from a strong draft and started slamming. We were pretty scared that time, but the habit never went away. But then something happened that made us permanently accustomed to locking the door. And heck, I'm seriously considering the idea of a real door latch. My house is my fortress, as they say. What's the use of walls if the gates are open? And that night, I didn't sleep for a long time. Suddenly I decided to check the front door. I was too lazy to get up, but the urge was compulsive and irresistible. I wandered down the hallway, tried pushing the door, and sure enough it wasn't locked again. I turned the top key 4 turns and for some reason did the same with the second bottom key, which we never used at all. Then I took literally 2 steps toward the room when I heard unusual noises outside the door. It felt like someone was introducing their palms on the door and groping around on that side, as if they had accidentally hit an obstacle and were trying to figure out what it was. In the course of shuddering in surprise, I turned around with the intention of at least looking through the peephole. I got close to the door and noticed that the knob began to turn up and down as if trying to open the door. Then there was a strange, unrhythmic knocking sound. I was suddenly cold. My heart ached, not with fear or horror, but with some black longing, a fashionable, incomprehensible anxiety creeping into my soul. I didn't want to look through the peephole, so I quietly went around the room. My wife woke up and was about to say something, but I asked her to keep silent, and she immediately realized that something was wrong. Her eyes rounded. I should say that I have one device that I almost never used, namely a video camera looking at the site and connected to the computer. And brought as a gift my brother, who worked at the time in the office, engaged in the installation of video surveillance systems. Looked, played a couple of times and forgot about this camera. But now I remembered about it. I sat down at the computer and ran the image of the site. I don't know what it was, but I saw it, and my wife saw it. Something wrapped in some dark rags was unnaturally bending and wiggling and wandering around the pad. It was scratching at the door and pulling the handles, crouching and listening for sounds. It was peering into the apartments. The head of this creature was also wrapped in rags. Sticking out of the rags were dark hands, long and narrow, with equally unnaturally long fingers. Several more times something came to my door and taught against it for long periods of time. The heart seemed to stop. My wife's tears were flowing. She bit the edge to keep from making a sound. Then the something crept away. It was early July dawn outside. If we lived in the countryside, there would probably have been the first roosters. After another hour, we came to our senses. I wish my wife had seen it. She is still recovering, and I can see that eating is still very scary for her. Yesterday she asked me to change the apartment. Well, that's fine. It's rented anyway. And I don't feel comfortable here anymore. I keep thinking what would have happened if I hadn't locked the door. We'd have been found disassembled, the body not inside, blood running down the walls. Or as they show in horror movies, huddled in a corner with a face twisted with mortal terror, a clearly accomplished heart. Or that evil crawls into the soul, and a man with glazed eyes goes on the line for a kitchen knife, or takes a step out the window. I don't know. I don't want to find out. I can say one thing: always lock your doors at night.